friends. Welcome back to a beautiful day in Microsoft Flight Simulator and another video. As promised, today we are going to take a full flight with a modern airliner using Beyond ATC as our ATC provider. And we'll take a look how Beyond ATC performs in a full flight with a modern airliner. I have, I believe, completed 4 flights so far, and they were okay. There were some issues, especially around the arrival and approach that are given by the ATC. Sometimes do not align completely. That, I believe, is going to be addressed by the developers. Sometimes the sim brief gives me a runway. It is changed, which is quite natural with ATC. But that changed approach doesn't always align with my arrival. And I can't just pick a transition and the landing flight path becomes a little bit messy. Anyway, other than that, I had great fun and a blast using Beyond ATC. When I posted the last video, there were some comments about Beyond ATC not being a good option or not the #1 ATC software, which I have never said that this will be the #1 ATC software. I said this ATC software has the potential to replace the solutions we had so far. And the commenter was referencing to Say Intentions ATC, which is another ATC software. I'm pretty sure it's great. It's AI based. It can recognize what you are saying and respond using AI instead of preset phrases that Beyond ATC uses. However, that software or that ATC software costs $24.50 a month. Compared to $29.90 of purchase price for Beyond ATC, and you don't have to go premium voices to use it, it's not comparing apples to apples in my opinion. If you are like me, if you are finding enough time to complete 4 or 5 flights a month, I am having a hard time justifying a monthly $24.50 expense to an ATC software if I'm only going to be able to use it 5 times throughout that month. So that doesn't make sense to me. Beyond ATC fits better to my schedule and how I use the sim and how often I fly. Therefore, I think this is going to be a good option for me and for people like me who has limited time to fly but also wants to have ATC coverage during their flight simulation experience. Anyway, we are at Brussels, stand 209, and we are getting ready to depart and leave the gate. And we will contact the ATC once we are ready and see how Beyond ATC performs. I will bring you guys back once the aircraft is configured completely and once we are ready to listen to the ATIS and request clearance from delivery. See you in a little bit in the cockpit. Welcome back, friends. We are boarding our passengers. Aircraft is almost ready and we are ready to contact ATC to request clearance after listening to the ATIS information. Let's hop into the cockpit and get the radios tuned for ATIS frequency. Alright, boarding is almost completed. Let's contact and listen to ATIS and then we will request our clearance. ATIS frequency is 132.48. And that's the clearance delivery 121.905. So let's listen to ATIS first. I have already set the QNH.
Advise on initial contact, you have information Victor.
Okay.
Brussels National Airport information Victor, missed 1550 Zulu, wind 040 at 7, temperature 21, dew point 10, QNH 1022, landing runways 25 right, 25 left, departing runway 25 right, transition level 050, advise on initial contact, you have information Victor.
Okay, we have information Victor, QNH is 1022, departure runway is 25 right. Sim brief is giving me 07 left, so I think that has changed. We will follow the ATC. I already brought up the departures panel. And we are ready to contact the clearance delivery to request our clearance.
Victor.
All right. That's a mistake on my end. Brussels delivery, good morning, KLM 2902 with information Victor, stand 209, request IFR to Zurich.
KLM 292 Brussels delivery, thanks for Victor, expect runway 25 right, type 3 Golf departure, squawk 1000.
Runway 25 right, Pike 3 Golf departure, squawk 1000, KLM 2902.
KLM 292, read that correct. Contact ground 121.88 when ready for push or start.
Ground on 121.88 KLM 2902. Alright, so we got our clearance, runway 25 right, Pike 3 Golf departure. And let's go back to the route and execute this and check our legs page. Looking okay. We will worry about the arrival later on. We'll pull up the performance calculator. We are departing runway 25 right. Boarding is completed. We will depart with flaps 5. We will durate to TO1. Packs will be on. Import the weights from the aircraft, import the weather, and calculate. So that gives us 143, 144, and 150 with a selected temperature of 33 degrees. So let's bring our zero fuel weight, and then we will use 2.0 reserve from our fuel. Cost index is 40. Cruise level is flight level 310. Cruise winds, I have to check the OFP for that. Let's take a look very quickly. Average wind is 011, 030. And the outside air temperature, that's down below on our EFP where we reach our top of climb. It's minus 45. And I have minus 46, which is super close. But let's just make it match. Transition altitude is 5,000. We heard it from the ATC. And execute this. Planned fuel is 6.5. That's matching. N1 limit TO1, 33 degrees temperature. And that will give us takeoff speeds, or we'll see if that matches. CG is brought up, 143, 144, 150. And that was probably same. Yep, that's matching. And we are pretty much ready to push out here in a little bit. We can set the speed to, our V2 was 150, we'll do V2 plus 5, 155. Runway heading is 244. We'll set the runway QDM. We are not giving an altitude clearance, so we will set the altitude selector to 8,000 and take a look at the chart to see if we have any restrictions here. Charts, departure, SID, Pike 3 Golf. Failing to see that one. There it is. And let's zoom in. And we have as above restriction of 70. So we should be fine. All right. So let's close the doors. And let's put the APU on. Bleed is on. We will keep the packs on for a little bit for our passengers. And we'll prepare the aircraft for pushback and engine start. Fuel pumps will go on, hydraulic pumps will go on. We need to disconnect the ground power. We are on APU power right now. And let's do this. Ground services, we can release the ground power, disconnect the chocks, and contact 121.88 for pushback clearance. This is going to be fun. All right, that's the frequency. Let's tune it. And let's contact the ground. Brussels ground, good morning. KLM2902 with information Victor. Stand 209, request push and start.
KLM 292, Brussels ground, pushback approved, face northeast.
Pushback approved, facing northeast, KLM 2902. All right, we are facing northeast. It means we are pushing the tail to the left and nose to the right, if I remember this correctly. Let's do this, and let me take a look at the airport chart on my other screen. Yes, and I'll share that with you so that we can take a look at the taxi chart together. Should be this guy here. There we go. We are right there. And pushing the tail left, nose right. Okay. Anti-collision lights are coming on, and we can ask GSX to push us back. That should clear the jetway. There we go. All right. Anti-collision lights are on. Forgot to turn on the window heat, but it's warm outside, so we shouldn't have any problems. Altitude, cruising altitude in the pressurization panel is set. Fuel pumps are on. Anti-collision light is on. We are gonna use the left igniters. And squawk we didn't set, so that's 1000. I'm not sure why I'm not getting 1000 all the time, but not a different squawk code. But it is what it is. So I'm not sure if you are using Beyond ATC and receiving different squawk codes. I don't, and I haven't set the trim. We have to set it to 6. Okay, nose right, tail left. Parking brakes are released. That should be the trim. And we will keep the view like this so that you guys can see. And starting right engine. And we need to turn the packs off. Okay, now we are talking. Oh, sorry about that stutter. This happens time to time. I don't know why. Fuel is introduced. This is very choppy. Sorry about that, guys. You can watch the performance, and what's causing this, I don't know. It's maybe FSLTL, maybe it's GSX, but something is off. All right, right engine is pulling up. I'll start the timer. The right engine is now stable, starting the left, waiting for 20% on N2 down there. Fuel valve is on. And we are waiting for the engine to stabilize and push back to complete. We are almost there. Brakes are set. Yep, we have a good engine start, so you can disconnect.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Alright, very good. Engine generators are now coming online. PECs are coming back to on. Isolation valve is closed. Recirculation valves are on. We can shut the APU bleed down and turn off the APU. So that's the overhead for takeoff. Oh, not takeoff, taxi. Probe heats can come on now. Flaps, we will set flaps 5. Alright, that's flaps 5. And that should be our takeoff config. We have an airfulness message. Verify the takeoff speeds one more time. Alright. So now, in terms of taxi, if I bring this back, we are expecting a taxi routing out of here. Maybe it's better to show it here so that you can see the lines. Let's get back to this. This is our current position. We are expecting taxiway Tango, out 8, out 7, Bravo 1 to runway 25 right, which is here. So let's see if we get the same routing that we are expecting from the ATC once we contact for taxi clearance. I think everything is ready except the transponder can go to TARA now. We can turn the traffic on and contact ground for taxi clearance. Brussels ground, KLM 292, request taxi to runway.
KLM 292, runway 25, right taxi via Tango, outer 8, outer 7, Bravo 1.
We have received the same routing we are expecting, so let's read this back. Taxi to runway 25 right via Tango, outer 8, outer 7, Bravo 1, KLM 292. Alright, that's great. And we are ready to go. So taxi lights are on. Parking brake is off. Give her just some power. It's a quick config check and off we go. Alright, I will taxi and bring you guys back when we are close to the runway. See you in a little bit. Alright, we are getting close to the runway and we will be probably handed over to the tower. I just wanted to bring you guys back so that you don't miss the communication.
KLM 292, contact Brussels Tower 120.78. Have a good day.
Alright, Our co-pilot will tune the radios for us now. Tower on 120.78 KLM29 or 2.
Negative, tower on 120.78.
120.78 KLM29 or 2. Okay, we are now contacted and tuned to the tower frequency. Our co-pilot did take care of that. Let's stop here and hold short, and let's request our departure. Brussels Tower, good afternoon. KLM 2902, runway 25 right, ready for departure.
KLM 292, Brussels Tower, wind 040 at 7, runway 25 right, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 25 right, KLM 2902. Alright, so we are cleared for takeoff. Let's set our aircraft. Runway turn-off lights coming on, taxi lights coming off, and strobes are coming on. We'll do a final check to make sure we have everything. Trim is set to 6. Just a little bit more maybe. Flaps are set to 5. Transponder TI we don't have weather radar available in PMDG 737, so we are ready to go. Let's enter the runway and be on our way. At this point, we can activate LNAV. We'll try that again. I'm not sure if I have forgot to execute something, but I think I did not. So maybe that's something I'm missing that I cannot do before takeoff. But I should be able to, so I'm not sure what's the deal there. Let's stop here. We'll put the terrain on our navigation display. Let's try LNAV again. Well, oh, the flight directors are off. That's why I forgot to turn them on. Auto throttle as well. Now we can engage LNAV and we can be on our way. All right. Increase the throttles to around 40%. And our co-pilot will take care of the communications while we are taking off. So I'll set that up. And off we go, Toga. What is that, master caution?
Airspeed alive. 80 knots.
All right. Rotate. And off we go.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear is coming up. And we are following the flight director.
KLM 292, contact Brussels departure 126.63.
Contact Brussels departure 126.63 KLM 292.
Okay, these pronunciations are a little bit off.
Brussels, KLM 292, 1,800 feet.
Well,
KLM 292, Brussels departure identified. Climb to flight level 150.
Climb to
we are-
flight level 150 KLM 292.
we are clear to 150. Let's set that up quickly.
Bank angle.
That's good enough for me for now. And we can probably engage the autopilot after cleaning the flaps a little bit. All right, we are getting there. Bring the nose down, pick up some speed. And clean the flaps up. Alright, I'm gonna pitch down just a slight bit to pick up some speed, and we can clean the flaps. Alright, we are getting there. We don't need the terrain anymore. We can increase the range to 20 and correct our heading just a little bit. And bring the nose down to 10 degrees. We passed the transition altitude, so we'll go to the standard pressure. We can activate VNAV. Now we can follow the flight directive to pick up some speed. Alright, flaps coming to 1. And we are picking up the speed nicely, 7,700 feet. Clean flap speed, flaps are up, and autopilot is now engaged. Alright, so far so good, guys. I'll just keep you guys here until we are clear to our cruise altitude by the ATC, and then we will cut the video and bring you guys back when we are ready to descend. Very nice, very nice. I think performance is looking okay, not too shabby. 45-50 FPS, and my system specs are in the description of the video if you are curious what kind of hardware I have. But coming up to 9,000, we can turn off the runway turn off lights, and finally we can turn off the landing lights. Okay, 10,000, landing lights are off. Flaps are in, speed brakes are in, transponder is TI array, and everything checks out. We're good. And well, we are about 10,000. Well, we never did, but we can turn off the passenger signs. I forgot to turn them on, looks like, when I was getting the aircraft ready quickly for the video. We are picking up some speed, and we will be probably contacted to either hand over to the radar control or for higher clearance to our cruise level very shortly. So that's what I'm waiting for, and then I'll bring you guys back after that. But so far, it's been really enjoyable with Beyond ATC, to be honest with you. Even though it has some issues that we know, it's really great. I have a wish list of Beyond ATC. I don't know if the developers are considering a couple of these, but I would very much...
Contact Brussels radar 125.0 KLM292.
Okay.
Brussels radar, KLM292. Climbing flight level 126 for flight level 150.
KLM292, Brussels radar, good day. Identified. Climb to flight level 310.
Alright, we are clear to our cruising altitude.
KLM292.
Let's set that up. And that's pretty much it for the climb. Anyways, what I was saying is I hope they will work on Navigraph integration so that I don't have to keep two different apps open all the time. And I hope they give us a map, which will happen if they integrate Navigraph, so that we can see the flight and our flight plan routing on the ATC window. Anyways, guys, this was a good departure with Beyond ATC. I think I am having a blast using Beyond ATC, and that was the missing piece of the puzzle for me. I started enjoying flight simulation a lot more than I used to, because it gets boring when you do the same thing over and over again with no air traffic control. But I think this might have the potential to become my go-to ATC for enjoying flight simulation. Anyways, I'll see you at top of descent. Welcome back, friends. I brought you guys back just to discuss one thing, so that you are aware, and we'll see how the ATC will respond to this this interaction. And that's regarding our approach. So what I mean by that is this. So we have, actually maybe I should show it on the Navigraph Charts app. So we are expecting an approach to runway 28, okay, with ILS. And this is the transition that I am expecting. If we are given this, here is what it looks like. So you see this mess? I'm gonna request a direct to this waypoint once we passed relax, to see if the ATC will acknowledge my request and shorten our approach route, because this is a very weird approach that we need to turn around from Amiki back to Lemax, back to this waypoint, and then circle around to land. So we will see about that once we get there. I just wanted to point this out, but I'll bring you guys back when we are getting close to top of descent.
KLM 292, relay to Alpha runway 28, report ready for descent.
Alright, we are given the instructions to our arrival, and we are expected to report ready for descent. Frankfurt radar, good afternoon, KLM 292 ready for descent.
KLM 292, descend to 7,000 feet, QNH 1020.
Alright, we are clear to 7,000 feet. Descent to 7,000 feet, QNH 1020, KLM 292. We'll set the altitude to 7,000. We are given the QNH, which I already set here, 1020. All our approach calculations are completed. And we are given relay to Alpha, and we are expecting ILS 28.
Contact Zurich approach 125.905.
We'll let our co-pilot respond
Zurich, approach 125.905, KLM
for the rest. And you see this mess. That's what I'm trying to avoid after
Zurich,
making this turn.
KLM 292, flight level 307 with information Charlie.
KLM 292 Zurich approach, QNH 1020, expect the ILS runway 28 with the AMI-28 transition.
QNH 1020, expect the ILS runway 28 with the AMI-28 transition. KLM 292.
Okay, so we are giving AMI-28 transition. That's the transition that I programmed into the FMC, and that looks messy. So right now we are passing relax. Let's request a direct to fix by the help of our co-pilot and see how the ATC will respond.
KLM 292, request direct to fix.
KLM 292, roger, say fix name.
So the fix name is ZH383.
Request direct to ZH382, KLM 292.
KLM 292, I need you following your flight plan right now. Unable direct ZH382 at this time.
Okay, so we don't have any luck getting a direct to that waypoint, so I guess we are stuck with following that flight plan. And this is not the fault of the ATC. This is just the approach to Zurich is a little bit different. and the ATC is not probably able to realize or process it properly, maybe, but we will follow our plan routing, and we'll hope the aircraft will follow the route and get us there. I have set everything. The course, final approach course is 273. We have to descend down to 4000 for the initial fix, and the ILS frequency is 109.75, which is already in the box. So we are all set for the approach. We are landing with flaps 40. Our reference speed is 143. And the performance tool, which we can now say, okay, landing en route, 28, flaps 40, packs on, anti-ice off, and VREF add, import the weather, and let's calculate this one more time. So it's adding 5 knots, so giving us a VREF of 147. We will use 147 for the approach, and initially 147, and then drop to 143 to land the aircraft. That's the plan. And unfortunately, we are stuck with this weirdness on our navigation display. And if we look at the legs, do we have a discontinuity here? We don't, but that looks a very wide turn for the aircraft to make back to that waypoint. So this is a little bit stupid, in my opinion, but we are stuck with this. So this might be a sim limitation, this might be a software limitation. If I wasn't flying with the ATC, I would go direct to that waypoint and cut our approach to a short distance. But it is what it is. Yeah, so we will follow this, and we'll see where we end up at. We are descending nicely, and I am going to keep you guys here. Feel free to skip the video if you want to go to the certain parts of this flight.
KLM 292, 15 miles from SIF 28, turn left, heading 120, maintain 5,000 feet until established on the final approach course, cleared ILS runway 28.
5,000 feet until established. Cleared ILS runway 28, KLM 292.
Okay, so we are cleared for ILS, and we are making the turn to get back to that waypoint. And hopefully we will. And descending at the same time. I'm gonna wait just a little bit more to switch to the local pressure, but we can turn on the passenger signs because we are on descent course now. And we will wait until we get to where we need to be. This is going to be a very wide turn with this speed at this altitude, but it is what it is, guys. I have to find a different route that doesn't have this kind of weird approach, and see if the ATC will also give me the same expected runway and route me. And I really want some place that I can find with a circle to land type of approach, and see how the ATC will react to that. Instead of an ILS, we can use a localizer and circle to land, or we can use a DME arc and see how all those different procedures are processed by the ATC software here. But for now, we will stick to the plan, and we'll see how well we are going to execute this approach with the help of the ATC. So I'm gonna leave the communication to the co-pilot while I'm dealing with the landing and executing everything, hopefully properly. And we'll see what happens when we get closer. But so far, I think Beyond ATC is doing a good job. Look at that. Excuse me. It just needs some polishing. And remember, guys, this is still early access. And with the traffic injection, when it comes, I think this is gonna be an epic experience to experience a flight with AI traffic controlled also by the ATC software that we have here today. Right now, it doesn't detect anything injected by FSLTL, but hopefully they will introduce the AI traffic, and then we will see how that plays out. I'm super excited about this software. Again, it might not be the perfect. Some people might not like it. I I completely respect their decision, but for my use case and the time I have available to fly, I don't want to break the bank too much. And
All aircraft be advised information delta now current QNH 1020.
and I want to be able to have decent ATC. If it has shortcomings, that's fine. I just want to be able to enjoy the sim with air traffic control. The information Charlie actually is coming from the ATIS of the destination airport, which we haven't tuned, but ATIS frequency is 125.30. Let's try if that will give us the information that we need. We could have listened to it when we were getting close.
Wind 035 at 7, temperature 21, dew point 06, QNH 1020, landing and departing runway 280, transition level 070, numerous cranes in operation around Zurich. Advise on initial contact, you have information delta.
This is actually beautiful. It just
Zurich
sounds
information delta,
like a natural speech.
Wind 035 at 7, temperature 21, dew point 06, QNH 1020, landing and departing runway 280, transition level 070, numerous cranes in operation around Zurich.
Nice. Nice. I like it. Okay, we are finally back to our waypoint that I tried to do at Rec 2. So now we should be following the flight plan and should not have any problems. We are down to 15,000 feet. You heard the ATIS. The transition altitude is 7,000. So when we are below 10,000, we can switch to the local pressure. We are given the QNH, so there is no need to wait. But I'm just waiting so that the aircraft can just get back on the flight plan path. And it's doing some weird things right now because of that crazy routing we have on our navigation display. Anyways, other than that, I think I enjoyed this flight. If I'm being honest, this was really good. And the visuals in this sim always amazes me, so look how beautiful it looks outside the window here around Zurich. Okay, let's focus on flying. Coming down to 14,000 now. And when we land, that's the other thing. We need to find out the gates that we'd like to park, and we can request that gate from the ATC. So I'm gonna look at the chart. We are landing to runway 28, and if we can exit, use the high-speed exits, one of the high-speed exits, like halfway through the runway, we can request gate A11, A17, A15, something like that. So we will aim for that. And what brake setting? Auto brakes 3. And the distance I need is 6,000 feet. Which is fine. At around 6,000 feet, runway length is 2,500 meters. That's roughly 7,500 feet. No, 8,000 feet. So we will use most of the runway. So we have to circle back at the end of the runway. That's fine. We are going to aim to exit using taxiway Foxtrot once we land. Okay. Let's focus on the things going on in the cockpit right now. We are coming down to 10,000. And we don't have much left, so we can tune the ILS now just to be ready. And we are picking up the DME, which is fine, 11.2 miles. And we are about to pass below 10,000. Landing lights are coming on. And we should see the aircraft slowing somewhere around here at the deceleration mark, we should take control and bring the speed down to a comfortable speed to configure the aircraft for landing. You don't have any FMS messages for drag required, so okay, we'll put the speed brakes out to slow the aircraft down because I have a message saying drag required. On here, it's saying us to climb, so there's an aircraft somewhere outside. But well, we are fine. I'll keep the speed brakes out for now. Let's set the auto brakes to 3. And we will arm the speed brakes once we are done with using them. So I think we are good now. Speed brakes are in, and now we can arm them and get ready for landing. All right, just a little bit more. Raymem is our final fix where we need to be configured completely, and we need to descend down to 5,000. I said 4, I was wrong, so it was 5,000. We passed below 10,000. I think we're looking good. And we'll let the aircraft take care of these 2 turns. And then we will start opening the speed window to slow the aircraft down for our approach. Performance has been stable. I had some stutters here and there, but that could be due to the sim itself, because I'm getting a solid 50 frames per second right now that you can see on the upper right corner of the screen. Alright, we are making that turn. Let me check the speeds that we have here. So we need to slow down to 2,000 to 220, and we have a 7,000 or above restriction on our next waypoint. And then after that we can descend down to 5,000. So the aircraft should respect that and level off until we clear that restriction. Okay, let's switch to the local pressure from standard. All set now. And we are coming down nicely to 7,000. This might end up being a continuous descent approach. Looks like we are going to clear that restriction right around 7,000. So that's good VNAV calculation. Credits to PMDG and their VNAV coding. And it looks great to me. Okay, no more drag required messages. Landing flaps is 40. And we can do the, well, altimeters are set. Engine starter switches, we will change them to continuous if I haven't already after making this turn. Just checking the checklist down here. Landing gear and flaps, we will deal with that here in a little bit. Alright, so we are now almost aligned with the localizer. So I'm gonna open the speed window, drop the speed down to 200 feet, go flaps 2, and the aircraft should slow down. I'll set my heading to the runway heading 273. That should, and then we will go localizer and establish ourselves on the localizer. We are coming down to 5,000. I'm gonna wait until I arm the glide slope until we are at 5,000 because I don't want to early glide slope capture. And we will keep going down on the speed. Let's just go down to 190. Let the aircraft cut the throttles. And now we are coming down to 5,000. We should get better drag and slow us down further for the approach. Nice. 170 on the speed window. Flaps 5. Speed is looking good, and we should start the aircraft. We should start seeing the aircraft slowing down. We are at the limit of this flapped speed, and we can now arm the glide slope. Glide slope is captured early again. I'm not sure what this is with PMDG, but it is happening. So glide slope capture, speed down to 160. Flaps will go to 10. 9 miles from the airport, we'll go flaps.
KLM292, contact Zurich Tower 127.75.
Contact tower 127.75 KLM292. Zurich Tower, KLM292.
What's happening?
ILS runway 28.
The KLM292, Zurich Tower, wind 035 at 7, runway 28 cleared to land.
Runway 28 cleared to land. KLM292.
Okay, we have the landing clearance, but I'm not sure what's going on with this horn. Okay. So we should slow the aircraft down even further for the approach and keep going flaps. We can go down to 170. Landing gear is coming down now. It's a little bit bumpy. Not sure why. Now the speed is finally coming down. Okay, I'm gonna go down to our approach speed now. Looks like we are, well, aircraft is doing some weird stuff here. That's too bumpy, and I'm very inclined to take control here. Let's do that, guys. I don't like the way this is looking. It's my plane now, and I have control. Okay, final stage of flaps. Lift the nose up a little bit because we are low. And off from the center line, so I need to correct the aircraft for that. Now we are high. Drop it, set the speed, and let me control the throttles now, because the autopilot is kind of fighting with me now, and we ended up being too high. I don't know what was that, and we are eating a sync rate right now. Yeah. Yeah, we are coming in hot. That's what it's trying to say us. And we ended up too high. Okay, a lot of things happening here. This is a terrible landing. All right. That didn't work quite well, so apologies for the terrible landing here. But we will take this.
Exit right next available taxiway.
All right, we will exit here.
Exit right next available taxiway, KLM292.
So let me just stop here and talk about what happened. All right, let's clean the flaps and turn on the APU. Runway turn off lights can, landing lights can come off, and I think that's about it for now. What happened is the aircraft was fighting with me when I was trying to control it, even if I disconnected the autopilot. So I'm not sure what went wrong. We were perfectly on the glide, but this could be something related to the nav data here. But that's what it is. Okay, let's keep going and vacate the runway. And we can bring the auto, turn off the auto brakes. And our speed brakes are out for some reason. Okay.
KLM 292, contact ground 121.9er. Have a good day.
Ground on 121.9er, KLM 292. Alright. Ground, good afternoon, KLM 292, requesting a taxi to the gate.
KLM 292, welcome to Zurich Airport. Say parking or advise if need assignment.
Alright, we can request gate 11A. KLM 292 requesting gate 11 Alpha.
KLM 292, gate 11 Alpha. Scenery at this airport is incomplete and a taxi route cannot be created. Taxi at pilot's discretion.
Interesting. You guys heard that? Taxi to gate 11 Alpha at pilot's discretion, KLM 292. Okay, so that means it cannot read the scenery. Interesting. Alright, we will just take care of this ourselves, but that's probably the end of the communications with the ATC at this point. And the Zurich airport does not have the scenery available to Beyond ATC, I guess. Or maybe there's an update that I forgot to make to this Payware airport. But anyways, guys, apologies for the terrible landing. I'm not sure what happened there. I should have taken control of the aircraft way earlier when I saw it wasn't slowing down. But this is how busy it gets when you are using ATC and trying to land and control the aircraft and be aware of everything that's happening. Again, I admit I suck at landing the aircraft. This one was one of the horrible ones. Usually I am not this bad, but we are on the ground. It was probably a go-around that would have given us the opportunity to test the go-around directions of the ATC, but I just didn't want to make this video longer than it needs to be, so we can just reserve that for a future video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm glad you just hanged out here until the end with me today, and let me know what you think about Beyond ATC in the comments, and I will be seeing you in the next video.